Good day, YouTubers. If you are one of those persons who's considering buying a firearm for personal protection, recreational purpose, or because you are a professional, I would highly recommend you to buy a Smith & Wesson, the model M&P. The Smith & Wesson has been traditionally one of the main contractors for law enforcement agencies in the United States, and it's also well sold worldwide. This one is one of the most common when I go to the range. It's always been used over there by competitors, recreational shooters. A lot of people buy them because of their comfort, their ergonomics for personal protection, and it's also one of the #1 selected for duty used by law enforcement agency, national security agencies all over the world, as well as professional militaries. That's why in this video I'm going to be presenting to you the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 Compact. All right, shooters, once you get your firearms and you go to the federal firearm license dealer to pick it up, this is what you're going to be given. It's going to be the firearm itself and the box. Inside the box, you're going to have 2 magazines. Mine are the 15 rounds because I live in Florida. Always check on a regulation. I believe you live in the state of Massachusetts, you're going to have to be exclusively only have the 10 rounds. There are some other states. You're going to have to do your research before you buy them. It comes with 4 different palm grip sizes. Going to be the small, medium, large, and the large. The medium large is the one that fits on my hand. Also comes with a locker for safety and an orange empty chamber indicator when you go to the range. So when the range officer are passing by, you don't have to scare anyone. It's just very safe. The box itself is just pure trash. This one is gonna be dumped after the review. It's just they really increase the quality on the pistol, but they really lower the quality on the previous blue and gray box that used to be sold on. We're gonna keep the extras on the top just for the future. I forgot to mention it comes with the magazine extension in case you plan on buying the 17 rounds, so it's not gonna be short. It's gonna be able to fit it. You won't have a gap in between. Let's fall onto the pistol itself. The specification for this one. The calibers that this one is going to be available is going to be a 9mm, 40 and 45. 9 is my favorite because it's very easy to control. You don't need to train a lot, and it's very manageable. 45, you're going to have to train a lot. It's going to take a toll on your parts internally. 40 is in between. A lot of the police agencies, they prefer 40 because it has more stopping power. You have plenty of capacity in their magazines. And it's a little bit more jumpy than 9mm, but it's still like in between. So a lot of people are 40 hardcore, 9mm, 45. You pick your fight. I just like 9mm. It's not secret that 45 is very easier to suppress when compared to 9mm because 45 goes slower. So what you're fighting is speed in order to suppress the sound. The magazine for this one for the M&P Compact is going to be 10 for those states, which is mandatory, only 10, 15, and 17 if you want. As I said before, check on state restrictions. The versions that you're going to have on for the M&P model, the first one is going to be the subcompact, which is only a 3.6 inches barrel length. I would not recommend it to people because they are very jumpy. You're going to have the same explosion, and then it's hard to keep to hold such a small frame pistol for shooting situations. And it also takes more training. Just because it is easier to conceal, it doesn't mean it's going to be easier to handle. Those with a shorter barrel are going to be less accurate. The second version of this pistol is going to be the compact, which is the one I am presenting to you this time. They made them in the 3.6 inches barrel and the 4-inch barrel length. This is the one I'm currently presenting to you. This is my favorite configuration. There is also a full version of this M&P series. Their barrel length is going to be 4.25, 4.6, and 5 inches long for the police officer. Those will shoot really well, really sweet, barely any muzzle rise. The recoil is very, very manageable because of the barrel length. It's going to be 5 inches long. They really hold the accuracy to the optimal, almost like competition level. I've seen police officers carrying on 2 of my counties around my city, and they're really I've asked them on occasion, how do you like them? They say they love them. It's just, you're talking about a duty pistol. It's not for concealed carry. Finally, there is also the performance or competition series from the M&P, which for which the barrel length is going to be 4.6 and 5 inches long, and they're going to have some improvement inside on the spring system, etc. And the most giveaway characteristic is they're going to have a fiber optic sights on the top. They're really not counting for night vision capabilities, pretty much for high visibility on a fast situation for competitors. The colors that this one is going to be available is going to be the flatter earth and the black, of course, but they do not have at this time any olive green or any other color. There is one that is a bicolor with the flatter earth on the top and then black on the bottom. There are a lot of variations depending on size and bullet availability and magazine capacity. Always check on your state regulation if it's going to be allowed, so no drama. One of the modifications that was done to this, the second generation of the M&P series, as you can see on the front over here, you see like a metal plate. The thing is that the lower part, all of it is going to have like a skeletonized stainless steel frame. It is no secret that all polymer pistols, when you shoot, they're going to be wobbling, they're going to be bending a little bit. It's something noticeable with that frame. It's going to add more rigidity. It's going to be less flexing while shooting. That way it's going to improve accuracy when shooting this one. Another reason that people like this one is because the lower bore axis is going to be quite low. It's going to be close to where you grip it. It's going to have a beaver tails, where it's going to allow you certain protection from getting caught for the newbies. I know some people, they really want to grip it some wrong holding position and they get caught with other firearms out there. So lower axis bore position of the pistol is going to allow a less muzzle rise when you're taking your shot, and it's going to be allow you for faster aiming recovery. That is no secret for anyone. It's very easy to aim. It's very comfortable. You have the traditional 3-dot military sights on top. On the bottom, you can see how it has the lanyard over here. That's pretty much for hunters, military use. So if you ever drop it, it falls out of your holster for whatever reason, accidental. You know it's gonna be, you will be able to reach for it. On the side where the magazine comes out, it's gonna be have bevel. So if for some reason it got stuck on it, you will be able to add you're gonna have certain more grip onto it, so you can force it on a force extraction in case you might have some sand or blood or mud or anything. These are firearm. This channel is not about golfing. So let's call situations about what they are. One of the reasons people prefer this firearm is going to be pretty much for their ergonomics. The M&P series is known for the 18 angle degree, the grip angle. So whoever grips this one is going to be very comfortable, very easy to shoot. This is the same angle that was originally designed for the 1911 pistol series, and everybody loved them. So the safeties are optional. What I like about this one is that ambidextrous, either right or left-handed shooters, you have control over these. I always try to get my followers and the people I can kind of teach about firearm safety and those to get always control with ambidextrous controls. In the perfect world, you would always use your right-handed or your left-handed, whichever is your strong side. But in the real world, you might end up having to use your opposite side in order to save your life or the life of your loved ones. So if I see a firearm without ambidextrous controls, I'll just skip it regardless of the reputation. But it's just my personal preference. You are more than welcome to choose what would be the best for you and your loved ones. The front side, as you can see, there's just a regular white dot. They are metal, so you can do one hand reloading drills. So they're not the plastic side that comes with certain firearms out there on the market. The downside of them is that they do not glow in the dark. They are not made out of tritium. So that's something to keep in mind when you buy this one. It's just an upgrade you're gonna have to do on it. The action for all those firearm safety genius out there that are always terrified, the firearm is always checked before every video. It's empty chamber, empty magazine, nothing to be worried about. The action is going to be a striker fire. It's all internally. You don't have any hammer on the back that you can hold it, and it's going to be out of battery. So it's very comfortable. The barrel length for this model is going to be the 3.6. I chose the 4 inches barrel length. Is just more accurate. It's going to be just, it's going to hold more. The bullet while it goes through the barrel is going to be less jumpy, but some people, they prefer the shorter version. It's just boils down to personal preference. I do emphasize I wouldn't go just below 3.9 barrel length. I just wouldn't use it for personal defense. It's just my preference. The grip is going to be made out of polymer. They are interchangeable, they are adjustable. All you're going to have to do is just, you're going to twist this over here, you're going to pull it out, and that way you can replace it for any of the size that came from the package that we're seeing over there. This is the medium large, this is the one that fits my hand. You're going to have this dent over here, you're just going to stick it over there, slide it over, make sure it fits perfectly. It's nice and snug, and then you're going to insert the pin that was holding it. Once you get it all the way through, you're just going to twist it and it's already secured. Nothing special about it. You don't have to disassemble the whole pistol in order to change the lower part. It's just very simple, very easy to modify. As I mentioned before, it comes with a small, medium, large, this one, and finally a large palm grip to adjust for all kind of sizes out there. When you're switching that one, make sure the one you're going to be choosing is going to allow you to touch the trigger with just the tip of your trigger. The majority of the people that are not a firearm specialists or professionals, when they grip a firearm, they have a tendency to embrace. You're not supposed to embrace the firearm. You're supposed to only hold it with the tip of your finger, and from there press back. This is wrong. This is right. So make sure when you modify your grip, it's going to be only the tip of your finger that's going to be pressing it back. The grip is going to be very aggressive. When I bow, it's kind of scratchy. Eventually, it's sort of worn out a little bit just with the daily wear. You don't have to do any sanding or something. For some people, complain in their hip when they carry, it doesn't really bother me. Eventually, it sort of yield a little bit, and now it's very, very comfortable and very, very grippy. It is supposed to be used by military and law enforcement, so it's not going to be slippery in case it gets wet during the rainy or even blood situation. So no way it's going to fall off of your hand when you grip it firmly. One of the things that I like about this one is to have the ambidextrous control, the safety I already mentioned, and also the slide release. There are a lot of good firearms out there, but personally, if I see that the firearm does not come with ambidextrous control, I will just not buy it. In the perfect world, it's a little bit stiff. You will always defend your hand yourself with your strong side, but in the real world, just because you get injured on your right hand does not mean you will not be able to switch side and keep defending your life or the life of your loved ones, so you can keep defending yourself. I do like ambidextrous slide release and ambidextrous safeties for those people who like them. Safeties are not mandatory. They are optional. I just like them because it's me. Some people panic about them. I just have a tendency to, when I grip, I just slide my thumb down and I just take it off automatically. It's just the way I am. I prefer firearm with safety, but we're all different. It boils down to personal decision. The barrel and the slide, they do have the so-called Armonite coating that is going to help with the rusting. The barrels, both are going to be made out of stainless steel. On the back of the upper slide, you're going to have some serration, which is going to allow when racking the upper slide for reloading purposes. This is very aggressive, so there's no way you can slip. It's not going to be slippery regardless of condition. It looks like a fish scales over there. On the top, you're going to have a hole to visually inspect if you have a chamber already inserted. So it's makes easy. You don't have to do any check, something like that. You will be able to see it without having to rack it back or make any kind of noise, depending on your specific situation. On the front of the barrel over here, you're going to have the Picatinny rail, so you can put your laser pointer or your flashlights. I do recommend the Surefire for the professional. As an alternative for civilians like me, I would recommend you to use the Streamlight. They make some really good flashlight, and they are like one third or 1/4 of the Surefire lines. The magazine release over here is very functional. It's sort of hollow compared to the first generation, as you can see, and it can be reversed in case you are a left-handed shooter. So you can replace it, put it on this side. It is very functional. It will really spit the magazine out of the magazine well. Extremely comfortable, really, really functional. Nothing in this firearm. There's nothing wrong with it. A few improvements, but it's really, really, you can't go wrong with a Smith & Wesson M&P. On the first generation, a lot of people were complaining about the slide release. Some people mentioned that when you drop it, you will be able to, the upper slide will come forward. As you can see, they made a reinforcement. I had the Gen 1 full size. It was really lovely to shoot, and I never had any issue with it. I don't know what people that were complaining about this one. However, Smith & Wesson took all complaints and all reviewers out there, and they reinforced it. There is no way you can drop it on the floor and the slide is going to come forward. It's just, you really have to apply force in order to release the upper slide for reloading purpose. But you know, it's just an improvement over the first one. Besides the internal chassis, they removed some of the metal on the top, so it's going to be a faster reloading. It's going to be less heavy for the cycling. So they kind of heard the reviewers out there. The trigger, this is a duty trigger. This is the one that came from the factory. It feels like a two-stage trigger, a little bit of take up over there, and finally break. What I do like about the trigger is that it has a very, very short trapper before it's it is ready to shoot again. As you can see, the trigger reset is very, very short. So you know, when you are a professional shooter or you're just familiar with your firearms, you don't have to really go like some people think that happens in Hollywood. You don't have to go all the way to the front and do a long stroke. You just hold it all the way back and you do a short stroke with the trigger over here. So that way you will be able to shoot faster and accurately. It is around 5.5 to 6 pounds. This is a duty trigger. This is not a competition trigger, so there is no justification about accidental discharge, etc. This is a duty. And it's very sweet. I do enjoy. The weight on this one is only 27 ounces, so it's something very variable. A lot of people, they do like them. This is a polymer and a stainless steel on the upper, so it's very easy to manage. Nothing wrong about this one. The things I do not like about this one is that they, up to this point, they do not make an olive drab green color, either the upper or the lower receiver. Another thing that has to be upgraded is going to be the sights. I have a tendency to replace all my sights for tritium ones, just in case I might have to, you know, get into a shooting situation to defend my life or the life of my loved ones at nighttime. So, you know, if it's nighttime, I won't even be able to aim because these are just your regular metal sights. They're functional. They do a good job. You can do one-hand reloading drill, but at nighttime, you're just out of battle. It's just, you don't even know where are you aiming at, and you have to be careful. You're not going to be shooting any bystander. So when you were just trying to defend yourself, be careful about this situation. This one are going to be replaced immediately. The box, as I showed you before, this is just pure trash. As soon as I finish the review, it's going to be straight to the trash. It's just, they really increased the quality on the handgun, but they really dropped the ball on the box. I really miss the blue and gray boxes that Smith & Wesson was known for. They were really beautiful. They were pretty. It was just a pleasure to have them before, but I don't know what happened. They just dropped the ball. The final advices I will give you, once you get your firearm, I would log into smithandwesson.com and you should register your firearm for your limited lifetime warranty for the first owner and your extended service warranty. So that way, if you ever have any problem, you just send it back and they will take care of you. This is proudly made in the United States. So, you know, this is not a European handgun. This is born, raised, and built in the United States. You know, you're buying an American product. You are supporting your Patriots workers. That's another reason I went for this one. And I think that's it. That's all I have to present for you. As always, thank you so much for following, for subscribing. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. because I will be uploading a lot of upcoming videos in the future, so you guys will be able to catch up. And this is pretty much in order to educate some people out there, the newbies, to entertain and kind of clarify a couple of misconceptions about the firearm world that is in the current climate. Thank you so much for your time. You have a wonderful day, and God bless you all.